Right, this is a video for a Honda Civic. It's a 2-litre Type R GT model. The car you see here is finished in Nighthawk black and it's been fitted with the very sought after option of the 19-inch Rage alloys that you see on the car. It looks absolutely fantastic on this car. The car's a 57 plate and it's had just one owner from new and benefits from a full Honda main dealer service history. So it's 49,000 miles. It shows 2 registered keepers, but it's actually the same family who changed the address, but didn't unfortunately do it in quite the right way, which added effectively another owner. It's actually just been the same family from new. But fantastic cars. Looks really, really good in this colour. Condition of the car is really good. It's a very original car. There's no sort of major dents, scratches or otherwise on the vehicle. Engine is running in the video. Hopefully you can hear that with the background noise. Back tyres got loads of tread and the alloys in lovely condition. Just the centre cap there's got a little bit of age-related marks on it. There's the front wheel again. The main alloys in absolutely superb condition. Just the centre cap again, which is a bit of a weakness on these in all honesty, but you can buy them off eBay for next to nothing. The bonnet's got a couple of very minor stone chips, but to be honest with you, that's I've seen a lot of these Type Rs, which by definition tend to be going quicker than most, with a few more marks on the car, but this one's really good. Just to show you, this fog light's broken, where stones hit it, but we have ordered a new one, and a new one is being fitted early next week. So we come to the offside of the car. Again, this front alloy, absolutely fantastic. And wishing time boring, centre cap really does need looking at. And again, lastly, that last alloy. But generally, paintwork's very good. There is the odd little stone chip on there. We're not going to pretend it hasn't, but it is it's a very nice example. Low mileage. Definitely the most sought after colour, and with those alloys looks absolutely fantastic. And around the back of the car again, no obvious marks on the rear bumper that I can see. Coming into the back, as with all these Civics, really, really big boot. You've got the 60/40 fold on the rear seats that you can see there, and you've got this parcel shelf which is all intact. And you do have this little hidden recess on the Hondas where you can put stuff underneath, pop that down, and you end up with another 6 or 7 inches of extra boot space in there. It's a really clever design. So then the back seats now. The seats are in really lovely condition. It doesn't really look as though they've ever really been sat in, to be honest with you. There's no marks, there's no cigarette burns, there's no damage in there whatsoever. It's really, really lovely. It's been fitted with a full set of mats on the car, which obviously protect the carpet underneath, which means obviously all the carpet's in really lovely condition. Back of the passenger seat there, again absolutely fabulous. So on the passenger side here, just want to show you the bolsters of the seat, which are obviously very, very good indeed, as you'd expect on the passenger side anyway. It's worth just showing you there. The seat itself's all in really lovely condition. Very comfortable, hugely supportive seats obviously. And the passenger door card here, it's all really clean and tidy. So coming to the driver's door card, again, all very clean, minimal signs of wear on here. It's come very nicely indeed. Driver's seat. Obviously weakness on any car of this type with big bolsters, but the bolster's really good on there. Likewise on the driver's seat here, the bolster's all in very good condition. Just a little bit of wear on the main bolster there where people are getting in and out, but you just simply can't get away with that, but it's not through at all. It's just, so the bolster's completely unblemished in terms of how it holds you. There's a tiny bit of wear on there. So inside the car now, engine is running as I do this part of the video. You can see it's a scroll around the dashboard, absolutely superb dashboard, it really is. With the Civic Type R, you get the red hue to the main dials and how they look. You got this 2-tier dashboard, which is utterly brilliant. So at the top you've got the MPH readout, which is what you're going to be looking at 99% of the time, hopefully. But it means that you hardly even have to move your head at all when taking in the speed. You've got your main Rev Counter underneath, big, clear, and what's lovely about that is that, you know, with such a high revving engine, you've got really clear display. The top left by the MPH, you've got little rev warning lights which show you when you're approaching the red line, which you'll do very quickly on one of these engines. And as it says in the advert, I mean, it really is. It's a wonderful engine to listen to. You know, everyone's going turbochargers in Honda now, but this is the last of a type, and it's all the better for that. It's a wonderful, wonderful sounding engine. But the main dash, as you can see here, you've got your radio and CD player, and then you've got your climate control system on here. Being a GT model, that means it gets dual zone climate control as opposed to the lesser basic Type R version. Got this brilliant 6-speed gearbox, a little sort of rifle bolt style gear change, very, very precise, very easy to use, and you can sort of change gear with confidence on the move. Got a multifunction steering wheel on here, shows you audio controls. Then you've got controls for the cruise control system, again part of the GT package, and your information display button there. Which if you just press that button there in the middle, you'll see the display changing in the centre of the dashboard. Scroll across, you've got your big start button on there as well, and this model benefits from having automatic auto sensing on the wipers and auto lights as well. Coming down to the electric window controls, you've got electric wing mirrors as well, again part of the GT package. They're electric folding, as you can see in there, and it will work perfectly well. Just come back to the rev counter there, you can see the engine is revving currently, and if I take the handbrake off just to show you, there are no warning lights whatsoever on the dashboard here. Brilliant, brilliant cars to drive. It's a genuinely quick car. It's, you know, 200 odd horsepower. What's fantastic about it is just the agility of the car. It changes direction incredibly quickly. Got very quick, precise steering. It's a firm ride, there's no getting away from that, but that's the price you pay for having such agile handling. I've had 2 or 3 of them, and they're absolutely superb cars to drive. So coming under the bonnet now, really nicely presented engine bay with us with all these Hondas. It's all nice and functional and easy under here. Lovely cylinder head or rocket travel on the top of these twin cam engines. The engine itself runs a cam chain, so there's no belt to change on them whatsoever, and have a history of providing, you know, incredible reliability, performance, and amazing enough economy. And my one, driven with any kind of restraint, was giving me a very easy mid-30s to the gallon. So coming inside now, we've got the logbook for the car. That does show one former keeper, but if you look at the name, it's exactly the same name and postcode on both, which just shows it's a change of address, or husband or wife has changed the registered status of the vehicle, but it is just the one family owner from new. And coming across, you can see there 5 Honda service stamps in the book, and the last one done at 44,000 miles by the Honda main dealer. This is a video for a Honda Civic Type R GT, obviously a 2-litre car. The car is registered GP57CWJ. This video should follow on from a walk-around appraisal and interior appraisal of the vehicle. Purpose of the test drive, sorry, mileage currently on the car is 49,376 miles. The purpose of the test drive is that we are now selling to customers, or we're helping for some years, from all over the UK and near continent. And we feel as a company it's only right that if people are willing to invest time, money and effort to come see our cars, then we can show them that if they're going to come and make the trip to us, they can do so with the knowledge and assurance that the cars are as described, in good condition, and mechanically, you know, you won't have wasted a trip. Or if there's anything I need to tell you about the car that I think may not be 100% right, or a bit of wear on the car, I will point it out where it's relevant to you. What I try and do is to put it into some kind of order in respect to the fact that, you know, when you come and see a car, you'll want to check out certain things on the car quite clearly. Obviously the appraisal video does the outside. So what I do here is do it kind of engine, gearbox, steering, that kind of thing. So first and foremost, engine. Given the fact that the car's been in one family from new and beautifully serviced, comes absolutely no surprise. Engine starts, first turn of the key, absolutely smooth, no noises, no clanks, no rattles from underneath. I mean, they're tough engines, but abused ones obviously can throw up different noises. This is as sweet as you'll ever find one. It's a beautiful engine. Further in the video, obviously on slightly more accommodating roads, I'll kind of open the engine up a little bit and shut up so you can actually hear it rev. But be assured you will not fault the engine, not only in its sound but in its performance. It's brilliant. Engine obviously drives through clutch and gearbox. Clutch, light as a feather, lovely biting point on it. The clutch pedal itself is silent. There's no dry squeaking. There's no clicking for the clutch pedal, which can afflict some of the higher mileage ones, or ones that haven't been maintained. And it goes through this fantastic gearbox. Again, with a few miles on the clock, they can get a little bit notchier just with age and a worn clutch. But this changes gear with, it's just lovely. I had one about 4 or 5 years ago, same as this, black GT model on the Rage Alloys, which had done about 20,000 miles, and the gear change was identical. It's just really lovely, sweet, really mechanical. It's just a lovely feel, very short in the throw. Problem with some manufacturers, when they try and get a short throw in a gearbox, end up with a horribly notchy gear change, or quite rubbery, hard to engage. This is not only sort of very short, very precise, but it's very slick indeed. So engine, gearbox and clutch, honestly you will not fault it at all. It's wonderful. Steering is lovely and precise. It's lost none of that. It's got no strange noises, no strange tremors through the steering wheel, even at motorway speeds. It just feels exactly as it should. It's just a lovely, quick, instant rack. Sometimes, again, on used cars of any type, you might find a little bit of wear in the track rods or in the little anti-roll bar links, which sort of manifests itself in a bit of vibration or resonance to the steering. But there's nothing at all on it. It's absolutely fantastic. The chassis itself, obviously, to say the firm riding is an understatement, but in the right way. Not as firm as a Motoring Press would have you believe. It's still perfectly acceptable and comfortable in its own right. But it goes about its business again without any strange noises at all. It's really taut. It's got that lovely kind of, which is what it is. It's got that lovely low mileage feel about the car, which even a good condition high mileage one will have lost a little bit of its edge. But this drives absolutely fantastically well. I kind of listen out for what kind of wind hiss, or where there might be like a window seal, a windscreen wheel seal breaking down, or a seal on a door going. But again, very quiet actually on the move. It's actually, they can cover long distances very comfortably, and a lot quieter than the previous generation Civic Type R. Every button I've pressed on the car works absolutely perfectly. There's no warning lights on the dashboard here at all. The only one that's illuminated is the low fuel, but other than that, nothing at all on the car. Dashboard itself is in fantastic condition. I've said it on all my other videos, I love this dashboard. Not just fantastic to look at, but brilliant to use. Honda didn't just do it as a gimmick, it's there for a practical purpose. So you've got things like a very high up speedo display, so you can assimilate that information instantly with just literally rock of the eyeball to take it in, and it's there, it's gone. Ordinarily, most speedos are down here somewhere where the rev counter is. On this one, we've literally got to move your head a fraction, then you've got to gauge where it is on the needle between two given points, and that split second can be enough to sort of miss opportunities, or to stop, or to evade situations that may arise. To the right of to the left, sorry, I'll get there in a minute. To the left of the speedo up above, you've got this little rev display. So as you get high on the rev range, as you get close to the red line, they start to illuminate. There's about 4 or 5 of them, and it just tells you you're getting close to the red line, and the rev limiter might kick in unless you change gear. It obviously helps to protect the engine, but because it's such a high revving and very quick revving car, it's a very useful addition, whereas it's probably a bit more of a gimmick on something like a diesel, which is a much slower revving thing. Down below the speedo, you've got this lovely huge rev counter, which for a sports car is ideal. And to the left of that, coolant, also temperature gauge, to the right, the fuel level. Coolant's running absolutely in its optimum. It doesn't run hot at all. Information display in the middle, like a hologram effect that kind of comes out towards you. But it's all in really, really nice order. The dashboard plastics are exceptionally good. Which again, you know, on some of the earlier Civics, if people got rings, they can sort of damage them quite easily. It's quite, you know, it's quite a hard plastic, it's beautifully assembled, but it is quite hard, and you can mark them, and some can be. The only noticeable wear inside the car, 2 very, very common ones. Top of the gear lever here, the leather around there, you can buy them off eBay for £10, and they just pop these out and you fit them in 2 seconds flat. So that can be done, but that's the only way I've got really here. And on the volume button here, just at the top, got a titchy bit of paint just worn off, where, you know, whoever's had the car previously has been using the volume control on a fairly regular basis on the wheel, by all accounts. What I'm going to just do is just quickly up. Hopefully you got that. That's a little opportunity just to extend the engine. VTEC's kicking absolutely beautifully. I love these engines. I mean, even Honda have had to finally give in to go into turbos, which, you know, they've got their own character, and I know they're very quick. They've got lots of low down grunt. I'm an old petrol head. I love revving engines. You know, this isn't a peaky engine. You know, I'm in 4th gear now. Just touch the throttle and it wants to go, and it will go. It's got a lot of low down grunt. So don't think it's all or nothing on this engine. It isn't. It's got loads and loads of low down sort of tractability with the engine. It never coughs or splutters. It's totally and utterly docile in and around town, with a really nice throttle linkage, which again it's just got the right amount of free play before the main event kicks in, where some you touch and you could be on and off them like a bit like sort of a kangaroo down the road. But this one is really, really lovely. It turns in so nicely. But yeah, no, it's you know, everything about this engine's fantastic. But you know, you don't get, even with, you know, turbos generally they're revving out to about sort of 6, maybe up to 7 if you're lucky. But it's a different sound. It's much more subdued. You know, as we know that with Formula 1 these days, that, you know, they're massively impressive in terms of their efficiency, but they've lost that kind of the soundtrack's just dull by comparison. You can't make a turbo sound like this thing revving to, you know, in excess of 8,000 RPM. It's just, unless you sort of, you know, I don't know, sort of make up a soundtrack like they do on some cars. And the other thing is, of course, complexity. You know, modern turbo petrol engines, you know, you're running a lot of extra equipment on there now. Turbos, which, you know, are hugely expensive to fix when they go wrong. Intercoolers, all the software that has to run them, wastegates. You know, there's a ton of stuff having to run that, as well as extra electrical components to control it all. And it's, you know, it worries me not so much now for the first 3 or 4 years, but, you know, when they're this age, you know, the reliability we know of certain manufacturers with turbos, you know, isn't that great. And of course that's passed on to the buyer. Whereas these engines, you know, unless they've been sort of messed around with or absolutely hammered without any interest in mechanical servicing, then they're as bulletproof an engine as you'll ever find. We've not touched a Type R engine, not once, and we've sold absolutely tons of the things, you know, with, you know, low to high mileage. But this is any car can vary. This car is a lovely example of a Type R in terms of the, you know, the mechanical drive of the vehicle. know, it's really, the drivetrain is completely seamless. Engine is so sweet. Just going to drop back a bit and just keep trying to extend the engine so you can actually hear it a little bit, because it's worth listening to one more time. I'm just going to drop it to second. I'm going to be responsible. I'm not going to do anything silly. But it is really fantastic. Well, as I said, the purpose of the video really was just to show you on a short brief test, a test drive rather, that, you know, if you are coming distance, be assured I can't fault the car. I said I've picked the only things I can pick up on, apart from the fact that birds dropped its insides on the outside the windscreen, unfortunately. Inside the car, the only sort of noticeable wear is, you know, tiny bit on this gear gaiter here, and a little bit on the volume control there. As I said, if I've missed anything, whether it be this or the walk around appraisal, I do apologise. I don't intend to. This is why we do them. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're coming a distance to come and see us, you can rest assured the car drives absolutely beautifully.